Good day. I am Peter Rony. I live in Blacksburg, Virginia. Today is September 28th, 2015. And the title of this YouTube video is a question. What was your work, Mastermind Larson? Well, the key word here is the word work. And I believe that the mastermind should be able to answer in public a bunch of questions that probe precisely what his work was during the Bugbooks era of the 1970s. So, I shall now continue with a series of probably 15 to 20 questions, and they need to be answered. Well, you need to understand why I have been focusing on the word work. Well, where did it come from? I didn't create the word. The mastermind did. And he did so in a blog. And at the bottom right, here is the URL. bugbookmuseum.blogspot.com. Here you show the bugs and 2 lines, and you see the 3 words, identify my work. And here is expanded view of this screen capture. So there are really one phrase, actually 2 phrases. One of them is identify my work, and the other one is 40 plus year plus. Well, let me start asking one by one my 15 to 20 questions. I have questions. Okay, you say, well, this is my work for 40 years plus. Well, I presume you could write a list that itemizes all your work. So I'm asking here to show me your list, and in fact show the world your list. So now here are my questions. My workbook for 15 chemical engineers in the winter quarter of 1974 was written by myself for my students. I wrote the workbook during January 1974 and perhaps after Christmas 1973. This was the manuscript that preceded Bugbooks I and II, which were published in August 1974. Are you claiming that this workbook was your work? Let me continue. The Bugbooks did not exist when we tried to have agreements with E&L Instruments and IBM. With E&L, the agreement would cover our cooperation, and with IBM, the agreement would cover a short course by myself and you, Mastermind. Well, all we had to show in May 1974 were my Introductory Experiments in Digital Electronics. That was all we had, and one reason why we were able to make the 2 agreements is my promise to update this manuscript so that it would be suitable for community college teachers and IBM professionals. Okay, are you saying that my Bugbooks 1, 2, and 2A, which were published in August 1974, were your work? Did you write anything? Did you draw any image in these 3 bug books? 1 year later, in August 1975, Bug Book 3 was published. Was anything in this bug book your work? My answer is absolutely not. And 2 more bug books that I worked on during 1976 and 1976. They were called Bugbooks 5 and 6. Were they any bit of your work at all? Nope. Now, you mentioned short courses, and we sure gave a lot of them to professionals. And also, we taught a course to my chemical engineering students. The slides were photographed and produced from the schematic diagrams that I personally created in Bugbooks 1 and 2. So without my actually probably full man-month work on the images, we would have no short course. So were these images your work? And were you completely dependent upon the quality of my hand-drawn images? Okay, let's get back to summer 1974. In May, I promised that I would produce a more professional version of my Introductory Experiments in Digital Electronics. So, what did I do? I created Bugbooks 1 and 2. What did you do during summer 1974? My answer is nothing. Okay, you had a Wikipedia story that I countered really only a couple of weeks ago. And here's a quote. You mentioned first 2 bug books were created by the team. And what role did I have in your what can I call it? Your concealed statements? Well, you said that I typed the manuscript. Okay, that's true. But what else did I do? And what did you do during summer 1974? My answer to this last question is nothing. And you say that we were a team. Well, my question is, what did you do as a team member? I know what I did. I drew the schematic diagrams and I wrote Bugbooks 1, 2, and 2A. But what did you do? My answer is nothing. And you like to use the word typist. Is that all I was? And why was I a typist, in your opinion? The truth of the matter is that I wrote Bugbooks 1 and 2 while I did the experiments in my home office in Blacksburg. So I wasn't just a typist. I created the books and typed my experiments as I went along. You weren't in my home office. You never looked over my shoulder, and you never proofread any of my pages. So calling me a typist was just pure deception. Well, let me focus on Bugbooks 1 and 2, and let me get down to specifics about the creation of the contents of these books. Who decided upon the sequence of chapters, there were 10 of them, in Bugbooks I and II? My answer, you were not. I made the decision. Who decided upon the sequence of experiment within each chapter? You didn't. I did. Who decided upon how to draw a schematic diagram of an experimental circuit? Boy, I'm talking so fast I'm starting to mumble. Well, that was my decision. And if you would like to see the forerunners of all of my schematic diagrams, go to Introductory Experiments in Digital Electronics, which is available for download at the website bbookhistory.com. Who drew all of the schematic diagram images? I did. Now let's move to Bugbook III, which I wrote during summer 1975. You're listed as a co-author, so what did you do to earn co-author status? My answer, you didn't deserve co-author status, and I was stupid to put you as co-author. So I'll ask the same group of questions that I asked for Bugbooks I and II. Who decided upon the sequence of chapters? You did not. Who decided upon the sequence of experiments within a chapter? You did not. Who decided upon how to draw schematic diagrams that involve both integrated circuit chips and inputs and outputs on a solderless breadboard? My answer, you did not. Who drew all of the schematic diagram images? I did. Now let's move to 1976-77 and Bugbooks 5 and 6, which were based on a completely different and significantly improved microcomputer trainer, the MMD-1, designed by John Typist. You're listed as a co-author, so what did you do? Nothing. Who decided upon the sequence of chapters? I did. Who decided upon the sequence of experiments within a chapter? I did. Who decided upon how to draw schematic diagrams? I did, and I learned how to do so from my work on the images for Bugbooks 1, 2, 2A, and 3. Who drew all of the schematic diagram images for Bugbooks 5 and 6? I did. So, you've got your so-called Bugbook Historical Computer Museum in Floyd County. And I'm certain that most residents of Floyd are aware of your museum. So, I now ask the residents some questions relative to your role, to your so-called work for 40 years plus. So are you telling the residents of Floyd County that I did nothing during summer 1975, that I did nothing during summers 1976 and 1977? Well, if they don't know what happened, they can get some insight by going to this 2009 website. Oh yes, there's a second website they should go to. It's called bbookhistory.com. This may be my last website, so I thank you all for having the patience to get to this last slide, and good day.